Did you know that if you're an empath in fight or flight, then not every thought that pops into your head belongs to you? That's why large groups and particular people can burn you out, and it's pretty inevitable until you've fully balanced your potential. I'll tell you a story about what happened to me. Around about the time that I started to realise that my empathic abilities were coming back online, I went to this networking meeting, you know, the ones where we all take it in turns to talk about what we do. And I was sitting there listening to the other ladies, and these thoughts popped into my head. They were insecure, fearful thoughts about standing up and being next in line. And after a few moments, I realised that this didn't make sense. I'm always happy to stand up and talk. I know that I'm well prepared and that I speak directly to the needs of the women in the room. So I stood up and I talked about trauma and empaths for a few minutes, and it went well. And shortly after, another lady stood up and said almost word for word what had popped into my head earlier. So I went home and realised that the only reason why I hadn't absorbed these thoughts as my own is because I knew exactly who I was and who I wasn't. And that was only possible because I've done the work to resolve the trauma and create the person that I was always meant to be. But how many unrealised empaths out there are absorbing other people's inner critics as their own and putting themselves into fight or flight accidentally, just because they don't know themselves well enough and don't know that not every thought in their head belongs to them? So how does this all work exactly? Well, the human biofield extends like between 1 and 20 metres in all directions, depending on the health of the person. Now, that's the scientifically proven part. My human experience also suggests that when I'm inside a large group of people, the biofields connect and create a network, so I might pick up on somebody much further away. You can receive thoughts, feelings, or even bodily sensations. Before I resolved my trauma, I was much more sensitive to fear and low vibration energy than positive, and that's because I was tuned that way for my own protection. I also didn't know how to turn down the volume or block it out completely. Although I do still get caught off guard. I was with a friend the other day who's quite a bit younger than me, and I was suddenly overwhelmed by stomach cramps. And obviously at my age, I haven't had those in years. Thoughts come in like they're your own. It's even in your own voice, so it can be really convincing. Emotions, somatic sensations, and emotional flashbacks can overwhelm you if you are not prepared. Now, this can be very confusing if you don't know that you're an empath or you haven't dealt with your own trauma, because we all have some. But once you have done the work, it turns into an incredible strength that can help you in all aspects of life. My turning point came when I learned about energy, bubbling up, and metacognition. And I couldn't have done any of that before I got out of fight or flight. And that is exactly what I'm teaching on school now. My community is called the Empowered Path for Empaths. So right now, I want you to know that it's not woo-woo, it's real. And if you are an empath in fight or flight, then it's possible that not all the thoughts and emotions are coming from the inside. The work is to find out which is which, really get to know yourself so you can tell the difference and work through your own trauma layer by layer until it's no longer running the show. So it would be amazing if you would subscribe, because if you're still listening at this point in the video, then this channel is definitely for you. Or pop over and join my community. You'll find the link below and on my channel. But most importantly, I want you to remember, you are enough.